It's a hot one, guys. We are getting close to you know what, right? You do, exactly. Harvest coming quick. Peas are ripening fast. It's still June, but I think we're gonna have an early harvest. So I want to be ahead of the game as much as possible. Let's go get some headers out of some buildings, get some combines out. Let's change some oils. Let's go through some parts inventories and let's see if we are ready to go, because I don't want to be caught with the crop ready and the combine's not. It's time to roll. I got my pickup ready. Let's go yank some headers out of a building, bring it back to this yard. Let's go. Okay, headers are in town, so now we need combines. And they're in the very back. So patch has got to come out. I got a little bit of work I need to do with the patch anyways, so it's nice to have it out. International's got to come out. Then we got a low tire on Clifford in the back, so that's got to come out. Then we got wood in front. So yeah, we got some work ahead of us. So we have these combines out of here and start the process of getting dialed in. We might not be able to get the augers collapsed on these little tractors in here. I'll take the truck out and back up, and I might be able to slowly work it back, and maybe we can get a gap where I can swing it back, but okay. If not, we're gonna have to run everything out. Got a lot of tread on it still, but she went flat last year. We'd air it up about every 3 days.
Yeah, you would have thought by now, with what the inflation that's going on, it would have been completely full.
Got air on them, so we're just using the air from the combine to air up that tire, get enough to get it out of the building. That's gonna work. Now we got the combines and headers out. I'm gonna start doing a little inventory. So go back into the shop here. Haven't really been back here a whole lot, but that's just because we haven't needed it. But these shelves have got parts for all kinds of stuff. And I'm gonna start going through and seeing what kind of inventory do we have and what do we need to get. And then I'll put together a list, go to our dealership and just order a ton. We're gonna need a lot of header parts. We'll be dragging a lot of header this year. Well, looking at what we've got for inventory for parts, definitely need some. I went ahead and ordered a few. They're not gonna be here for a couple days, so I'll get done what I can. Do you remember we built that smoker barbecue out of that rotor and took it to the US Custom Harvesters Convention? Well, I took the rafts bars off Clifford and I swapped them on that thing so that I could use the brand new ones that were on there to put them on the combine. But they're all in a building. This is one of them. I'm gonna get the rest. They're heavy.
All right, we're getting at these machines. I'm not sure what the harvest is gonna be like, how much is gonna be left when we get done close to harvest, but we gotta fix them up. So anyway, the gathering part of the combine from the header that cuts it all off, then gathers it, throws it into the combine, is the feeder housing right here. And sometimes you have some that have a smile. Actually, no, more of a frown. They're not supposed to be. Should be straight. And so I'm gonna see if I can pass the bar. These are feeder house bars, slats, and I'm gonna go straighten this, and it has a metal bar in the middle of it with a special hard polyester or poly something. So anyway, I'm gonna straighten this up. Raise this up. It's about in that area. Tighten her down. Okay. All right, let's see. Pretty fairly straight. Good enough. All right, I'm not gonna get bent out of shape over this one.
All right, let's get this done. I've got a special tool here. What's it called? The reach? I don't know. This thing, I'm gonna try to use it. I don't use it very often. I got it. I use it all the time, and I don't. But there's a couple rasp bars that are blocked by this module support brace here. So I'm gonna see if I can use that to get the bolts out. If I can't, I'll need to use a breaker bar. And then I'm gonna go through, put all the new ones on, and then we gotta go through and retorque them all to the correct foot-pounds, which I think is like 100 foot-pounds. And that way we know they hopefully won't fly off and go through the side of the combine. That'd be bad. Now, I didn't take these off when we were doing the barbecue because, as you can see, that bolt is right in line with this. So we came up with this. We sacrificed a socket and a nut and made a tool so that now, there probably is a special tool out there, but now I can get the gap big enough here. I can put that on there and put an in wrench on that nut, and we can break it loose, and then I can turn it out. Now, see, this is a new one. See the head on that? This is an old one. See the head on that? Yeah. Well, now that we got that wrapped up, I still got to raise the modules, put them in, and then set the gap on the concaves. So that way when they, or I should say the stops, that way when you go to close them, they don't grind into those new rafts bars because there's a little more of a diameter to that cylinder now. You got to set that every time you put new rafts bars in. Haven't done much of this combine yet. I'm going to fire these up today, hopefully, and change the oil on them. That's my plan. I got some good oil to put in them, so you guys are going to see that in a second. But it's still a little cool out right now. When I say cool, it's like 85 degrees and not 105. So before it gets hot today, I'm gonna grab one of those headers. I'm gonna bring it inside the building. We would put the combines in the building, but it is a tight fit. We built this shop with smaller equipment in mind. Well, thanks to you manufacturers out there that just keep pushing the limits, everything gets bigger. And I don't know if our door can lift tall enough to get it in. So I don't think B-Spine or Clifford's gonna spend any time in the shop. Otherwise we'd have them in here where it's like 70 degrees. Nice. Let's get a header. Let's bring it inside so I can start working on it.
got this header in, one of the headers of the 8230 combines, 45 foot, and we're going to maintenance it, get it ready for harvest. But one of the things that we need to do is to take a look at the sickle bar with all the sickle guards, which are these pointed cast iron, well, we call them guards, but anyway, they funnel the crop into the sections. And what happens is we're up in the rock country and these get stoned. As you can see, rocks get caught between the section and the guard as they're quickly sliding back and forth, and it ends up either the minimum is knock off all the edges so then it's not as aggressive in chopping the straw off smoothly, and then the other thing is that it cracks and breaks the section, and then you're going to be losing grain behind because it's not cut and clean. So the process is to take these nuts off right here, and then you can pound them down, or you can take the guard off. This is a special guard that goes on the end, but saying that, if you look, it's got these ears that the section slides across instead of just like this. Well, that's good, but all the time I've been running combines, we never really had that. We always just had without those little ears. They seem to cut fine, but the problem with these ears is that they're locked into each other, and so you've got to remove the two sections to get that guard out. So I'm taking each one of these that have the ears, running over to the chop saw and chopping them off. So that way when you stick them on, you can slide over away to, so in the middle of the two sections, and then lift it up and it comes right off. So you're not out there, you know, fighting it, trying to get back in cutting mode when you're trying to repair the sickle.
Oh, I did something stupid. I blew up a tire. These tires don't like 100 PSI. I gave it, I don't know how much. I was at my house for lunch. My daughter was like, "Did you hear a sound?" I'm like, "I didn't hear any sound. Grandpa must be doing something at the shop." And I was just over there after eating, and all of a sudden it just dawned on me. I left the air hose connected to the tire. I got distracted. I went into the shop, it was connected, it was about flat, I was letting the air up so I could move it around. And then I just, I don't know, spaced it. That's why you gotta sit there and watch those things air. You can't leave them, and that's what I did. And thankfully no one was around it, but it blew out. What a mess. On the bright side though, because we did beast buying with LSWs, Clifford here has a spare tire from beast buying. So I'll go get the spare, I'll put it on it. What a waste of a tire though. It's not like it was new, but it had a lot of life out there. Ah, man. Oh, I always wondered when that day was gonna happen, and I just did it. All right, let's change some belts. This one's got some cracks in it. They're not terrible, but a couple of them are starting to work their way through it. I'd rather just replace it than have it blow up in the middle of harvest. I want a smooth harvest. So I gotta release the tension on this belt. Belts are tensioned by a tensioner, fancy that. It's basically just a bolt that's threaded with a nut and a spring, and the bolt is attached to a pulley, and the spring has tension put on it by the nut, which then shoves the pulley out, which then pulls all of the belt tight, which then creates the tension you need so nothing slips. You want to change it, you can run that nut all the way out, pulls the pulley back, releases the tension, and then you can put a new belt on. Let me see if I can remember exactly how this pulley went on here. Like that and around. Okay. Over top, under. Now, a lot of times new belts are tight. They're not stretched out like the old belts. So you might be able to loosen the tension off the tensioner, get the old belt off, and the new one doesn't fit. And you're like, wait, is this the right size? Yeah, it is. It's just the old one was stretched out. Let's see if I can weave this around the same way that this other one comes off. I almost took the other one off, and then I realized I'll probably forget how it went on, and I'll spend 15 minutes trying to figure out, this is really simple, but you'd be surprised. Goes to the top like that, and this one goes around like this. And as I suspected, it is tight. There we go. Got it. Okay. Let's tighten that baby back up again. See right there? That is what was worrying me. There's a few of those throughout this whole belt. There's another one. Now like this one, this is on B-spine. Cracking about halfway through the belt on a number of spots. It's definitely got some heat abrasion to it. You know what? It'd probably run the season, but I got a new one right here. Let's throw it on. Throw it on. Now interesting, this one is tensioned by a spring. There's no bolt though. So you can't take the tension off the belt with the bolt. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a ratchet strap on this arm right here, which I think is what the purpose of this is. Maybe there's a special tool you're supposed to use. And I'm gonna hook it to the back, and I'm gonna ratchet this and stretch this spring out a ways, relieve the tension, so then I can get that off, hopefully. Hopefully, I'm sure it's not kosher, but that's what I'm thinking about doing right now, and I'm gonna do it. It'll work. It'll work. Come on, guys. Believe me. Let's take a look. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Okay. Well, I'm gonna put this on last. Let's see, it went under here. Tensioner. I think I need a bar to push that in. There we go. Okay, let's let the tension off. Done and done. Good job, guys. Making progress. Making progress. Well, I think it's about that time to get this thing turned around, and then I'm gonna drop the oil on it. I need to open the hopper up too while I'm at it, because I didn't get it open the first time I drove this thing. But we'll get the oil warmed up. I don't know why I need to warm it up. It's already 100 degrees outside, which means the oil is probably already 100 degrees. But we'll let it run a little bit, get the oil a little bit, like viscosity a little higher, and then we'll back her up, put the pan underneath, drop the oil, drop the filters, and get some of that new oil in there that we've been talking about. Doing oil changes, turn the disconnect off and hide the key, just in case someone tries to start it while you're in between changing oil. Going in. It's a little toasty in here. Turbo's up against my belly. And it's hot. There we go. All right, all the oil's down in the pan. It's gonna get dumped into a shuttle, and the shuttle's gonna get sent to someone who's gonna use it to an oil furnace in their shop. We don't have one of those, so we don't use it, but we do like to use our oil for another purpose other than just getting rid of it. Now, another thing to think about farm equipment. I don't know if you guys have heard, I just learned of this recently. It's called the 30-60-90 rule. And what that means is 30 is your cars, your pickups, your over-the-road family vehicles. They use 30% of their maximum horsepower on a daily basis, 30%. 60 is your semis, your over-the-road semi trucks, heavy haulers. That stuff use 60% of their rated horsepower. 90 is like ag equipment. Ag equipment runs at about 90% of your engine horsepower on a given basis, or up to. That's a lot of horsepower. When you're using more horsepower, it takes more force. It's just like pushing or pulling something heavy and then pushing and pulling even harder. You get tired quicker. Yeah, you know what? Same thing with an engine. You work it harder, it's gonna wear out faster. And the demand for oil in these systems is a lot greater than that in, say, a 30% car. So with ag equipment being so demanding when it comes to horsepower use, because these things just do a lot of work. They're trying to get that as much efficiency out of that machine as possible while you're in the field. Why make it inefficient? Put the engine in there that can produce the horsepower and use the combine to maximize the horsepower use of that. So that's why we change oil yearly in our combines, because these things run sometimes over 100% engine percentage, depending on what kind of crop you're cutting. This year, we won't get there. But last year, we were running that 90 to 100% engine load in our peas and our wheat because it was thick enough to make it work. So let's go into the oils. So here, we've got these lovely 2 shuttles from T2 Services. These things have been really nice. We keep them in the shop, in a corner. When it's time to get to the machine that needs its oil change, just roll them out, plug the air to it, and start pumping away. This one is hydraulic oil. This one is 1540 engine oil. And today, we're gonna be pumping some new CNH industrial oil in. So let me show you guys how we transfer that oil over. There's a number of ways you can do it, like use a skid steer to lift them up in the air and then tip them on their side and then open the cap and let it drain into something, kind of messy. Or as we like to use, air. We transfer everything by air pressure. Watch this. Now, before you go putting this in the barrel, wipe it down. Dust collects on this stuff, and we're in a dusty environment, and it's amazing how much dust accumulates on all the stuff in here. So if you put this in your barrel of oil, and then you pump it into your shuttle, but then you pump into your combine, whatever dust was on here is gonna come off in the oil and hopefully end up in your filter, but don't want to go through the engine. All right, ready to hear the magic? Now, when you use an air pressure transfer, you gotta be careful to not overpressurize the barrel. And I like to run about 5 PSI or so, not a lot. Just, you don't wanna go real high. Just let it go slow. It'll do it. Just give it time. Oh, here we go. We're running out. That thing got significantly heavier. And it wouldn't be right if we didn't get some bling on it. There we go. Won't get these mixed up, I hope. Originally we had a little thing there, and a little thing there, and now we've got a big thing there, and a big thing there. Let's go put some oil in the combine. I'm gonna let that keep filling hydraulic fluid. All right, come on, you. Man, they make these in like a 130 gallon version. That's a 90. And it's only got 1 barrel in it. I need to be a Mike less to do that. Whew. All right, done. Clifford, let's go, combine. Dropping oil. You know it's getting toasty when the hat comes out. Whew. I gotta get inside. It's Let's make this quick. All right, now that's all done. Let's take that old oil, go put it away. I'm gonna go jump in the pool. Kids been begging to go. And it's nice enough outside to have a good pool day, so a little more work and it's playtime.